So what is seeing, and what is listening, and what is learning? I think there are three related to each other.
Seeing.
Learning, hearing, and seeing.
Mm-hmm.
What is seeing? Perceiving. Do we actually see? Or do we see through a screen, darkly? Screen of prejudice, screen of our idiosyncrasies, experiences, our wishes, pleasures, fears. So, and obviously our images about that which we see and about ourselves. So we have this screen after screen between us and the object of perception. So do we ever see the thing at all? Or is it the seeing is colored by our knowledge, botanical experience, so on, so on, so on, or our images which we have about that thing, or the belief in which my mind is conditioned, the mind is conditioned, and therefore prevents the seeing? Or is the memories which mind has cultivated prevents the seeing? So seeing may not take place at all.
Mm-hmm.
And is it possible for the mind not to have these images, conclusions, beliefs, memories, prejudices, fears, and without having those screens, just to look? I think this becomes very important, because when there is a seeing of the thing which I am talking about, when there is a seeing, you can't help but acting. There's no question of postponement.
Or succession.
Succession.
Or interval.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because when action is based on a belief, a conclusion, an idea, then that action is time-binding.
Mm-hmm.
And that action will inevitably bring conflict and sorrow, regrets and all the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it becomes very important to find out what it is to see, to perceive, what it is to hear. Do I ever hear? When one is married, as a wife or a husband, or a girl or a boy, do I ever hear her or him? Or I hear her or him through the image I have built about her or him, through the screen of irritations, screen of annoyance, domination, all that dreadful things that come in relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So, do I ever hear directly what you say, without translating, without transforming it, without twisting it? Do I ever hear a bird cry,
Mm-hmm.
or a child weep, or a man crying in pain? You follow, sir? Do I ever hear anything?
In a conversation we had about a year ago, I was very struck by something you said, which I regard as, for myself personally, immensely valuable. You said that hearing was doing nothing to stop or interfere with seeing. Hearing is doing nothing, to stop seeing.
Seeing.
That is very remarkable, because in conversation, the notion of hearing is regarded as intimately associated with command. We will say, won't we, now hear me out. And the person thinks that they have to lean forward in the sense of do something voluntarily.
Right.
It's as though they have to screw themselves up into some sort of agonized twist here, not only to please the one who is insisting that they're not hearing, but to get up some hearing on their own.
Right.
Yes.
So, does a human being, I or X, listen at all? And what takes place when I do listen? Listen in the sense without any interference, without any interpretation, conclusion, like on this, all that takes place. What happens when I actually listen? So look, we said just now, we cannot possibly understand what beauty is if we don't understand suffering, passion. You hear that statement. What does the mind do? It draws a conclusion. It has formed an idea, verbal idea, words, hears the words, draws a conclusion, and an idea. Say, a statement of that kind has become an idea. Then the mind says, how am I to carry out that idea? And that becomes a problem.
Of course it does, because the idea doesn't conform to nature, and other people have other ideas, and they want to get theirs embodied. Now we're up against the clash.
Yes. So, can I listen to that? Can the mind listen to that statement without any forming an abstraction? Just listen. And either agreeing or disagreeing, just actually listen completely to that statement.
If I'm following you, what you're saying is that were I to listen adequately, or just, let's say, listen, because it's not a question of more or less. I'm absolutely listening, or I'm absolutely not listening.
That's
yes. I would not have to contrive an answer.
No, because you are in it.
Yes. So, like the cat, the action and the seeing are one.
Yes.
They're one act.
That's right.
They're one act.
That's right. That's right. So can I listen to a statement and see the truth of the statement or the falseness of the statement, not in comparison, but in the very statement that you're making. I don't know if I'm making myself clear.
Yes, you're making yourself very clear.
That is, I listen to this statement Beauty can never exist without passion, and passion comes from sorrow. I listen to that statement. I don't abstract an idea of it or make an idea from it. I just listen. What takes place? You may be telling the truth, or you may be making a false statement. I don't know. Because I'm not going to compare.
No. You're going to see.
I just listen. Which means I'm giving my total attention. Just listen to this. You see what's going on. I give my total attention to what you're saying. Then it doesn't matter what you say or don't say.
Of course.
What is important? My act of listening. And that act of listening has brought about a miracle of complete freedom from all that your statements, whether true, false, real. My mind is completely attentive. What more? Without attention means no border. Moment I have a border, I begin to fight you. Agree, disagree. Moment attention has a frontier, then concepts arise. But if I listen to you completely without a single interference of thought or ideation or mentation, just listen to that. The miracle has taken place, which is my total attention absolves me, my mind, from all the statements. I don't know if I'm...
Yes, you are.
Therefore, my mind is extraordinarily free to act.